Yo, you know what it is, Maleman holding you down till 7 on Denver's Urban Alternative 104.7 A Drop. And it's a whole lot of goddess, black girl
Come on
energy
now.
in the studio
Come
right
on
now.
now.
I'm here for it, you feel me?
Gorgeous, though.
This woman is a straight queen. She's hilarious, but not only that, you know what I'm saying? She's an actress, a writer, a producer, an advocate for LGBTQ rights, mental health. You know what I'm saying? She does it all. You probably seen her on Marlon Wayans, the headliner.
Yep.
Netflix is a joke. Tiffany Haddish is
Yeah.
They Ready. People's Party with Twalib
Come
Kweli.
on
The
now.
Breakfast Club.
Come
Sway in the
on
morning.
now.
She outside for
Keep
real.
going.
She outside for real. Joining me today is the wonderful, fantastic, multi-talented Chaunté Wayans. What's up,
Come
my girl?
on now. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
All the sound effects. What's up, man? Thank you so much for that amazing intro.
No problem. It's all facts though. No
Yeah.
cap. No
No,
cap. We
I
appreciate
appreciate
you joining us for real.
Absolutely, man.
So let me check in with you.
Yeah.
You know, like for real,
Let's do
being
it.
intentional. How are you feeling mentally, emotionally, physically? Like, how are you, Chaunté?
You know, I am actually in a really good space.
Good.
I've been,
Good.
you know, a lot of my journey has been working on healing, which I talk about in my show. And how things have been full circle for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I started helping out at a recovery center.
Oh, nice.
And it's amazing because it keeps me in a sober mind frame.
Right.
And you know, it's just been a beautiful blessing.
That's
you know,
dope.
the real gifts you get out of living, you know what I mean, has just been amazing.
That's what's up. I love that for you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what's up. I
Thank
just
you.
had to check in, make sure
No,
you
I
was doing
appreciate
all
that.
right. You know what
I'm
I'm
like,
saying?
did you see a video post that said I was trying to be suicidal or
Nah,
something?
nothing
Hey,
like
man,
that.
I just want to make sure.
Nothing like that. Just had to check in.
I appreciate that.
So let's get into it. Like, at what point did you realize, like, you know what, for real, comedy is something that I can turn into a career. Like, I'm really that good that I can, you know, take care of myself with this career path.
You know, I would say the first time I tried stand-up was eye-opening for me because, you know, being an introvert and, you know, having certain things go down in school and stuff like that and not feeling like my whole self. When
Right.
I got to that stage and I felt like I had a voice and you know, literally I did an open mic and they asked me to come back for that main show. So that was eye-opening because it was like I have this voice, I say who I am,
Right.
I lay everything out on the floor, and it became like therapy for me. So, you know, to really answer your question, what was the question again? My bad.
My question was, when did you realize
When
that
did I
comedy
realize
was something you could take and make a career of?
I think here's what's weird, right? Because that question comes in so many forms.
Right.
For a long time, I doubted myself in a lot of ways because, one, I'm coming from a family
I was gonna say
that I have to.
there
you
had to
know,
be pressure from
yeah,
being a Wayans. You
well,
know what I'm saying?
the pressure is they don't allow you to go through your own journey. You know, they be like, "Oh man, she ain't a Wayne." I remember my uncle Damon had me and Lil Damon on the road, and we did like an arena, and we had 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we had our 2 jokes, and you could hear the crowd go, "Oh man, come on now!" And you be like, "This is my first time doing
Cut me
this.
some slack. You know
Cut
what I'm
me some
saying?
slack." But I think that was the pressure that people didn't allow you to go through your own journey. So it's that, right? But for
That
a
makes
long
sense.
time, I tried to make a name for myself. And then I just started realizing, like, the Wayans has built an empire.
Right.
We just got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So while they opened those doors and gave us those opportunities,
Yeah.
and you know, some of the second generation still has work to do to get to that level, it's you got to understand. And most white people, right, or most other cultures, when they build an empire, they're passing it down to people.
Oh, yeah.
Their sons, their daughters that honestly don't even want to do it. You know what I mean? But they just get that slack.
That's
so
true.
our family has taught us to put in the work, be honest, you know, lay your stuff out, and just go. It doesn't matter. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, go be you.
And I like how you mentioned put in the work.
Yeah.
What kind of work does a comedian have to put in to be successful?
Getting on stage, you know, being able to control a crowd, being able to get through, you know, silence became a blessing for me in a lot of ways. You know, I like to storytell, and I think in the beginning of my career, I was trying to just joke, and trying to live up to
Right.
other means. But the stories that I have with just mental awareness and religion and how that how that plays into me being a lesbian,
Right.
like all those things. Why do I keep forgetting the question? But those,
It was just what work you got to
putting
put in.
The work
Yeah.
is literally like, writing every day, not being afraid to just get your thoughts out. You get 3 tries on every joke, and you try it in different cities. Some cities are way better. Mm-hmm. Some cities, you got to work a little harder for it. But it's really about putting in the time to get on stage, and what is your point of view, and right.
Right. And you've been doing it for a while, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So you've seen the different stages and just the changes and evolution, you know what I'm saying, in comedy. I want to know, what role today do you think like social media plays in the success of a comedian?
That's tough, because some comedians that's viral right now ain't comedians. You know what I mean? Like,
Talk about it.
I think, and this is not to put anybody down, right? Because work is work.
Facts.
But when you come from a certain background, there's a different work. Before social media, you literally had to get out there. You literally, in New York, you could do 5 to 10 spots a night. You know what I mean? That's the work you put in. You know what I mean? But now people are getting on stage, and I think what's happening is you're losing a voice out there, because a lot of people are hacky. You know what I mean? It's like you'll talk about, how your mama cook.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or how black parents, so without putting in the work and getting booed, like, people are already at a level before they hit the stage.
Facts.
And so, that's the difference. But I think social media helps with, getting your voice out there. Now I'm starting to put out, jokes. And the beauty is, I used to be afraid to do that, because you go, man, if they hear this joke again at the show, they not going to receive it the same. So that's why a lot of comedians don't like putting their real material out there. That's why you see crowd work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you could do crowd work all day.
Right.
But the jokes you're building, either you're afraid somebody's going to steal it, or you're afraid that it's not going to hit as hard when you come to that city based off somebody seeing it. What I've learned is, first of all, there's more to a joke. If I do 30 seconds online, that doesn't mean that I don't have another 2-3 minutes in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
true.
I've realized that it still works once I hit that stage.
That's deep. I didn't even think of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, saying something online, because, it can go viral, and then it's like, well, damn, that was my joke. I might want to run that back, spin the block on stage. But that's true. Like, maybe it doesn't resonate. You mentioned, you know what I'm saying, like, crowd work and like the different aspects of a show and being on stage. What can people expect from you if they've never been to a Chaunté Wayans live show? What can they expect? You gonna do some crowd work? You roasting people? Like, what can they expect? You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. It's a little bit of everything. You gonna hear storytelling that's relatable.
Okay.
Again, I go into religion. I go into mental health. I go into addiction. But everything is full circle for me. But you gonna get a lot of
that
fun.
work.
So it's relatable. It's fun. It's almost like a party vibe. And that's what I do with all my shows. When I host, when I do something, I know we living in a negative space right now, but whatever you dealing with, go, excuse me if I can't curse, but go and come back and let's just vibe. You know what I mean? Because that's the bulk of it. But it's very relatable.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
That's what's up. So we at the Denver Improv, you know what I'm saying? Tonight, 2 shows tomorrow, 1 show on Sunday.
Come on now.
We can't wait to see you. You know you're going to get that work. Chaunté Wayans going to bring that heat, you know what I'm saying? What do you think, in your opinion, was your biggest accomplishment in your career? Like, what do you say you're most proud of?
Oh, I'm probably most proud of sticking with it, and staying alive.
Facts.
you know, dealing with addiction and certain things, you know, I literally there's just been times where I could have just gave up. And I think that, you know, I started realizing that my voice became a blessing for even just one person in the audience. If I can change that heart or whatever feeling somebody's going through with just one person in the audience, I don't care if it's a 500-seater,
Right.
I've done my job.
Facts.
So, you know, what a lot of people don't realize is, you know, people dealing with addiction or suicidal thoughts and all those things, when you get to wake up another day, it's a blessing. And I think that those people are very special, and sometimes the mind it doesn't know how to calm itself down enough to realize how special we are.
Yeah.
And so I would say just being here and being alive for the next person that has a heart.
Done pulled my heartstrings
Come
a little
on
bit.
now,
I'm trying to hold back
man.
the tears.
I
Thug
know,
tears,
man.
real thug tears
You know
going
it's a
on.
black-
No, I really
Thug
love
tears.
that. I really love that. Like, you know, that I think that means a lot. And as I mentioned before, you don't just do comedy, you know, like you're into the mental health space, you're into the addiction space. So I also want to ask, like, is there any upcoming projects or just projects in general that you're excited about outside of the comedy that you're doing in the community? Like, what work are you like super excited about? And
So honestly,
passionate about?
I put this out there in case anybody want to, you know, fund it and stuff. But I'm literally looking to, I'm working on building a sober living or a space to help creatives who are dealing with things like that. And I want to be able to bring out the art in them or whatever creative force that they have. And I think there's a different way to do that in that space.
Right.
So I want to build a facility that is reaching out to people that just need to figure out those thoughts regardless of where you are. And my boy Chaz and
Shout out Chaz.
myself, Chaz, who's my feature. We've been writing a lot of projects. We got a lot of people that's interested in things, and so we're teaming up to I just love being creative and developing.
Right.
I think one of the blessings with me is I took a lot from my Uncle Keenan, who's been able to find talent and really be able to, you know, make them, you know, excel in a lot of ways. And that's one of the things that I have that I want to build on that. Yeah.
That's super dope.
Yeah.
That's super dope.
Thank you.
You're a gem, you know what I'm saying?
on, man.
You a beam of light. And
Come on, man.
I'm happy to have you up here in the
Thank
studio.
you. Thank you. We at the drop.
the
104.7 Maleman show.
Bow, bow. You know what it is. Do you have any advice for any upcoming comedians that you want to give? Like, get it off your chest. What should they do to find success or at least just enjoy what they're doing?
Just tell your story. Be true to yourself. You know, audience will understand real. And you know, I always say this it's a weird way, but it's like having a dog around you, right? Where they know fear.
Right.
They know, you know, the dogs can sense that,
Right.
and without people realizing it, people can feel your fear on stage or your nervousness. And I think it's just about repetition. It's about what is your point of view, and you not gonna get everybody. Trust me, I will do amazing in one city, and I go to the next city like, oh, I'm gonna destroy this,
Right.
and it's work, and it's okay because not everybody is gonna rock with you, you know, or even be honest with themselves and what they feeling. So always, I'm a firm believer of who are you.
Right.
Bring that to the stage. What's your opinion on things? And just repetition.
That's game. So if you're trying to take that next step, you want to take your career to the next level, Chaunté Wayans is dropping gems on
Come on
you.
now.
You might want to listen.
Come on
You know
now.
what I'm saying? All right, we're going to have a little fun, but I'm going to put you on the hot seat.
Oh, shoot.
I got to put you on the hot
Oh,
seat.
shoot.
I got to. It's about to get real.
It's
Where
when you
were you
can't
on the
curse.
night of... No, I'm just kidding.
O.J. Simpson, I was in 6th grade. My science teacher was pissed that he won.
I want to know, give me your top 5 female comedians. Digging that bag.
That's
Digging that bag.
Damn. Me,
You. It's all you. No wrong answer.
Takara Williams.
Okay.
Daphne Springs.
Okay.
Damn.
Just that last one be the toughest.
I'm gonna just go old school and go my Aunt Kim.
Kim
Wayans.
Yes,
Yeah,
facts.
yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yo, Chaunté, again, we can't wait to see you at the Denver Improv.
Come on
you know
now.
what I'm saying? April 11th, tomorrow the 12th, the 13th on Sunday. Pop out. It's been lovely having you.
Yep.
Again, you're a gem. We appreciate the work you do in the community. We appreciate the embetterment of lives, especially when it comes to just making people smile and making people laugh. You got a home here at the Drop. Thank you for kicking it with us.
Hey man, thank you. I appreciate you. Take care of that beautiful being.
Aw, thank you,
You
thank
just
you.
got pushed out.
She walking and talking, so pray for your
man,
boy.
Yeah.
It's the Mailman Show on Denver's Urban Alternative 104.7 The Drive. Ski that way.
Hey.